Welcome to Couples Becoming Intentional. I'm Carrie.
I am John.
And here at Couples Becoming Intentional, we want to equip you with different tools and resources so that you can live intentional lives with those that you love to leave a legacy that lasts. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Couples Becoming Intentional. This episode is really for me. This is just a fun one for me. So, if you have zero desire to learn about Disney, to learn about our trips, to learn about any of that, just wait till next week or go back and listen to some of our older podcasts, because this is something that I love to do, to talk about Disney trips and all things Disney. People have come up to me and messaged me to ask them for tips about doing Disney, either with like kids or even just without kids or just Disney stuff in general. So I could literally talk for hours and hours and hours. We're not going to do that, but we're going to do a recap of our trip. And it's a roller coaster. This is probably the most craziest trip we've ever been on. Do you agree?
Yes, crazy.
Like,
crazy.
I feel like...
Yes, Disney. We're talking about Disney.
I feel like there was always something that went wrong.
And we didn't even do that many roller coasters.
And we weren't even there long.
At Disney itself, yeah.
Yes, just the whole weekend. It was just like, there's some really, really awesome things that happened and some really awful things that happened. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me backtrack a little bit. So normally John and I, well, first of all, John and I have never taken a trip to Disney, just the two of us, because when we went this time last year, so we went, our family, my extended family, we were in Anna Maria Island, Florida, which is about 4 hours outside of Orlando. And John was only able to come for a little bit just because of the job and vacation time.
Yep.
The realities of 9 to 5. I go through this too.
Yep. Now it switched onto you.
I know it switched onto
you have
me.
only 2 weeks of vacation. I only had 2 weeks of vacation then. So like now we got a balance. But like now you have more freedom in your job because
and
you
I can easily work from home.
Work from home, or you can monitor or do things.
Moderate the Sunday
stuff.
service.
Yeah.
Yes,
So like
totally
you have more
make it work.
flexibility
Yes.
than I did in my old job. So
it is so true. So last year what we did is I took the kids on my birthday, August 18th, and drove to Tampa to pick up John from the airport, and then all of us drove to Orlando. And we just did like a 3-day mini vacation, our family, in Orlando, and did Magic Kingdom. And it is hot. It is hot in Florida. In like you said this really good about like walking on concrete. Like everything just seems so much hotter than it is like
right, because
anywhere else.
Because like the concrete absorbs the heat, so then the heat gets reflected back onto you, but then you have the sun beaming down onto you because it's fully sun like most of the day. Like they'll have the afternoon shower because that's like Florida. You get the 30 minutes to an hour of rain. And so you always have to like schedule that in.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Funny.
It's so anyway, last year on that trip, we just did Magic Kingdom with the kids, and it was seriously a dream come true. Like that when I talk about like what is one of my proudest memories or like just a big thing in my life, it's that moment of walking through the tunnel underneath and like seeing my kids go to Disney World, because I'd been thinking about this since I went to Disney World at like 11 years old, thinking back how I wanted to bring my kids. So that was a moment we had just waited for and saved up money for, and really just used my network marketing business to help pay for it. And it was just like this epitome of everything coming true. And at that moment, I said, I will never go back to Disney in the summer. And yet here we are, going back to Disney in the summer.
Last year we went to Disneyland in the summer.
Well, we went to Disneyland in the beginning of March. So
yeah, kind of.
So people think we're a little bit crazy because within a year, we've done Disney World 3 times or a Disney park 3 times. So we did Disney World 2021, August, Disneyland, March 2022, and then Disney World, August of 2022.
So out of those, what was your favorite?
Disneyland, by bar none. Disneyland is my absolute favorite.
What made it your favorite? Because there's like Disneyland, there's only 2 parks. Like
yes, exactly. So this is funny. If you're like not a Disney person, you're like, what? So Disney World is in Florida, and there are 4 parks that make it up. It is Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. You can throw in some water parks and all those types of things in there. But that is Disney World. Now, the OG park, the one that Walt Disney himself actually was the creative on, was actually this is the only park he was actually able to attend, is in Anaheim, California, and it's called Disneyland, and is so much smaller because he just ran out of money. Walt himself, and the company was so new. They're actually celebrating 100 years this year. Like, it's just so small that he just ran out of money. So there's only 2 parks. It's Disneyland, like Disneyland proper, and then California Adventure. And they're right next to each other, where the 4 parks in Disney World are like transportation wise apart. Like, you can walk
so far apart.
It's so far apart.
Like, you forget that, or like you're like, oh, let's go let's go to Disney Springs, and you're like, oh wait, we need to get a bus to get there. But then it's so complicated to like go from park to park,
right?
Because then you have to, like, if I want to go from Disney Springs to go to Epcot, you can't. There's no bus that goes directly to those 2.
Yeah, there is.
There is.
Yeah.
What was the?
Oh, no, there's not. There's not.
And so
There's
you had
not.
to go back to the like some resort,
Oh, yeah,
like
we'll
the
talk about
Riviera,
that.
and then go back. Yeah, and it was like, if you wanted to do the if you wanted to go on
the
Skyliner, yes, that one. You had to go to specific resorts to have that had those.
Yes.
And then the Skyliner doesn't work when it's raining,
and you will get to that.
or if there's lightning within 5 miles.
Right. So we'll talk about this, because this is obviously a part of our story. So after we got back from Disneyland, that was a spur of the moment. Like, we wanted to get a family vacation in, just the 4 of us, before Penny turned 2, and I had to pay for her airline ticket. So we were like 2 weeks away from her turning 2, which actually is such a blessing, because now I feel like we can travel less now, because we have more tickets that we essentially just need to pay for. So John, after doing Disneyland, what were your thoughts about Disney as a whole?
I love it. I mean, Disneyland itself, and in California Adventure, they have both Star Wars and Marvel.
So Disneyland has Star Wars.
Yes.
And then California Adventure has Avengers.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's how it works. Yeah. This is definitely a Carrie's thing. And
yes.
So I did not grow up dreaming of going to Disney with my kids. No.
No, but you have gone to Disneyland Paris.
Yes.
Which is wonderful.
I mean, it's just like Disneyland. Basically. I mean, you get to see Mickey and Minnie.
Yes.
And I was petrified because I didn't trust things in costumes.
Right.
So needless to say, this is one of the things that Carrie likes to do, and she takes me along with her.
But you do enjoy your time.
I do. Yes. Especially because, like, now that Disney owns Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah.
Those are 2 things I really do enjoy. And so yeah, there's something I always have to get something there. So like when we went 2020, because we went to Disney Springs, I got my Millennium Falcon popcorn bin, and we use that like on a weekly basis.
Yeah. Yes. They're very famous for their popcorn bins, and I mean, super famous that you buy this popcorn bin. It's plastic. This is only at Disney World that they offer the popcorn buckets, but they offer them at both, but specifically at Disney World, it is $2 refills. So any park, when you bring in a popcorn bucket, we could even bring back our Millennium Falcon and get it refilled for $2, which is just like bat nuts crazy. It's one of the cheapest snacks that you can get on property, and our kids love popcorn. I love popcorn, and
yes,
it's an easy yes. When you're out of popcorn, you pay $2.50 with tax to just get more popcorn and fill up your bucket. Okay, so let's kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about our trip, because oh my gosh. So the reason why we booked it is because, one, we fly Allegiant. So Allegiant goes direct from Appleton, which is the city that has a really tiny airport. They fly direct from Appleton to a lot of different, not a lot, but probably like 10 different places. So my family flies Allegiant a lot, of just finding cheap tickets and nonstop. We have like a certain duffel that we can bring that we don't need to pay for, and just make it work. And they're only weekend trips, so they're on like set schedules. And this is just one of those things with budget airlines, with like Sun Coast or Sun Country. I don't even know what it is, or like a Frontier or a Spirit. Like, you're just limited to whenever they're flying. So we actually ended up with really good flight patterns that works well for our family. Like, we left on a Thursday night and we got back on a Sunday night, and my mom has off on Fridays. So she was actually able to watch the kids the whole weekend without having to take any vacation. I had to take a vacation day for that Sunday because I work on Sundays. And the flight ended up just being like a no-brainer. The price was ridiculously cheap for what I've been seeing at Allegiant recently. So I'm just like super, we had some credits, and I was like, John, I think we should just book it. And we did. The flight went out on my birthday, and we had our anniversary while we were there, and we just booked it.
Yeah, having the points, having the cheap flights was like a game changer for us, because we were actually like able to cash flow it.
Yes.
I know about like 6 months ago, Carrie was like, John, I want to go to Disney for my birthday. Yes. And she like had everything priced out of how much it actually would be
on a spreadsheet.
Is what I do. Like a Google spreadsheet, because like that's how she uses that's what she did growing up, trying to convince her parents.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And now that's what she does to convince
my husband of why we need to go somewhere.
I said no originally because it was going to be so expensive.
This was like when I priced it out on that spreadsheet, that was like the bougie. Like, we're staying at the Riviera, which is a $600 a night resort, and I needed it. We were just going to stay there one night. It was going to be fine.
Weren't we like changing resorts like every single day or something like that?
Yes. I asked you how willing would you be to change a resort every single night? And he's like, no. And I was like, but babe.
The worst part of traveling is carting around your luggage. And I don't want to move my luggage from hotel to hotel
But on Disney property, they move it for you.
Is that concierge services?
Yes. So when you're staying on a Disney property and you're switching resorts, because it happens often, people will stay at a smaller budget resort and then go to a more luxurious for the end of their trip. The Bell services will actually transport all your luggage to you.
See, this is information you need to tell me before.
See, now we know for next time. Now we know for next time.
If we are going to stay at a more bougie.
Oh, yes, that is true. Because in all actuality, I'm the biggest fan of staying off property. So what that actually means is you're not staying at a Disney resort. I will never in a million years, unless somebody comps me and pays me for it, stay at a Disneyland one, because there's hotels out the wazoo, just walking distance. And then Disney World, it is just so extremely, it's more cost effective to actually stay off property and drive than it is to stay on property, because Disney just hikes up their prices, which, it's Disney. Because they can, exactly. So
they have like own govern. They can
do whatever they want.
Oh yeah, because they pretty much own all the land that they're on.
Yes.
And so yeah,
it's insane. So
but no tax. There's no taxes on Disney property. Did you notice that?
I paid taxes, not on food, but on merchandise.
No, my puzzle was $34.99.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Well, somebody might need to fact check that one, because I'm not sure about that. That'd be really cool. That'd be awesome. Because I know Florida is like a 7.5% tax. Anyway, so then for our hotel, we had credit card points. So our hotel was completely paid for besides the resort fee. So this hotel is normally like a $300 a night hotel, and we were there for 3 nights, and we had it all paid for in points.
It was a really nice hotel.
We would never in a million years pay this to stay at a hotel.
Right.
In this season of life that we're in.
Yeah.
Like, we will down the road.
When we have no kids.
And we planned this trip in like a month. Like, normally if this was like we were saving for a whole year, like we are for our next Disney trip, like we can do a little bit more splurgy things because we know that they're coming. But this hotel, it was a Swan Reserve. It is walking distance to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. It is a Marriott owned hotel, so it's technically off property, but it's one of the 3 off-property resorts that you can actually walk to 2 of the parks. So for us, it was just like a no-brainer.
And they had mini golf right across the road.
Exactly. So
which
of course we did
we
that.
love mini golf.
Love mini golf.
And I feel like the only thing we like hobby-wise that we were not able to do while there was like, well, my hobbies.
Your disc golf.
Disc golf, or like even board games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so like we read, we played mini golf, we were able to go to Disney stuff.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun.
It was.
Picked up a new mug.
Yes. So to kick things off for our crazy adventure of a trip, our flight got delayed in Appleton, which is 20 minutes from our house for 2 hours.
Hour and a half. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys, my whole plan for Disney, we were supposed to get into Disney at like 10 o'clock. So probably get there around 10:30 or 11. And my goal was to like get my cute little birthday outfit and go to Jelly Rolls, which is a piano bar, because it's still my birthday. And I want to still
Dueling
like,
pianos.
yes, a dueling piano bar. There we go. And I definitely want to go. Well, since our flight got delayed, we did not end up getting to Orlando till about midnight. And then,
which is 1 o'clock there.
yes. Okay. Yeah. So about 1 o'clock there. And then we had to try to find a Lyft. Don't do Uber if you're in Orlando, because Lyft is just probably half the price, if not significantly cheaper. And trying to find a Lyft drivers at 1 o'clock in the morning to drive you 45 minutes, because we flew into Sanford, which is still like in Orlando, kind of. I use that quotes, but it was 45 minutes to the Disney area. So just know that it's a cheaper, smaller airport, but you're going to have to drive a little bit further to get to Disney compared to MCO, which is the big Orlando hub, which is a nightmare sometimes, and especially right now. And I like, that was my biggest fear, is that we weren't going to be able to get a Lyft, and we got a Lyft, and we were really thankful for that. Took our drive, and then by the time we got there, we were just done. Like, nothing's open. It is 1:30 in the morning, and I was just exhausted.
Yeah, like you passed out. And
Oh yeah.
because we've been up. Or
Well,
like,
yeah, I work on Thursdays. So
yeah, and so like for
early.
me, I couldn't fall asleep, so I fell asleep around 2:30.
Right.
I think I got like 5 hours of sleep that night.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 or 5 hours.
I know, because then our hotel room was really nice, pretty standard. They actually upgraded us to an Epcot firework view room, which we did not pay for. So right when you looked out our window, you could see big old spaceship Earth, which is the golf ball looking thing at Epcot, and it was just so beautiful. One of the things about our hotel room, though, is that I didn't move the blinds all the way to the end. So I was up super early, because I'm always up super early, and the light, it was just so bright in our room. So that's why you had such few hours of sleep, because you couldn't really sleep.
I woke up at like 7.
I know, the light was on. And then we stayed in our room. We packed breakfasts, like as in chocolate croissants and bagels.
Yeah.
Just so we didn't have to pay for an extra meal.
Right. And I'm not that big of a breakfast eater.
Right.
So I had my coffee.
Yes.
I had my taco.
Yes, gotta have my taco trim. And then I had my bagel, and I was totally fine. And then we went and played mini golf. And the mini golf that they have there is called Fantasia Miniature Golf. And there's 2 different 18-hole courses there. So it's actually Fantasia Gardens and Fantasia Fairway. So Fantasia Gardens, when we got there at like noon or 11:30, was an hour plus, probably 45 minutes to an hour wait. And we're like, man, this is like your standard mini golf. And Fantasia Fairways is more like golfing and mini golf. Like they were like almost like mini golf courses.
It was like golf, but miniaturized.
Yes, that is a really good way to put it.
So like it had like sand bunkers. It had water hazards. They had like hills. They had like they're called bootlegs, or so like it would actually go off to the left or off to the right, and they're a little bit longer, so they're like 75 feet, 100 feet long, and so they say it takes you an hour and a half to do,
which I feel like was extremely accurate.
Yes, and it was difficult.
It was so hard.
Yeah, and they like say you cannot go above 6 strokes, and I feel like for half of the holes, we got 6 strokes.
I know. It was insane.
Because we're not golfers.
No,
so, like,
oh gosh, no. I'm more like...
It was like lucky if we got like 3 strokes.
Yeah, that back half of it, I was like on fire getting all the 3s. It was so great.
And who won?
John did.
It's always a competition between Carrie and I. And it's always so close.
Yes, so he won by 3 strokes. Yeah, because this was different. You weren't playing like -1 to -0. It was like we were like 80 and 83. Like you were actually adding up how many
out of the par. I think for par it was 73.
Oh yikes!
That's how badly we did.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like if we did it again though, like we would do a lot better because we
knew what we were like towards the back 9. We kind of figured out what we were actually doing. So from there, I'm starving. We're out in the blazing sun. We're so hungry. We catch a bus. So the Swan Reserve does have complimentary bus transportation to Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, and Disney Springs. And then you can use the Swan and Dolphin. Those are 2 other hotels that are both
perks of staying on a resort is that you get
they can
free transport.
Well, some resorts, not always.
And well, then also you get to access other resorts.
Yeah, so we were able
is
to
fun.
have full access to both the Swan and the Dolphin, which are two other resorts that are walking distance from ours, and they have boat transportation to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. So you were taken care of. Nice. It was so nice. We took it on the way home from Epcot. So we went to Disney Springs and we walked around a little bit. It is huge. So Disney Springs is free. It's like just open shopping and food and.
So like they have like M&M's store there. They have a Coke store there. So like major stores are there. So you could go.
Yes.
To Pele, which is like a soccer place, which I love. And so yeah, it's really cool. I really enjoyed. Like you can just walk around. You can get food there. So we ended up going for lunch at a newer place, right?
Yes. So it is a newer place that they have. It is a chain. We didn't stop at like one of the iconic Disney Springs places because we wanted what's called quick service, something that we could just eat right away because I was hungry. And we went to Blaze Pizza, we had Mod Pizza when we were in Seattle, which is pretty much the same concept where you get to design what you actually want on your pizza. So we got garlicky yumminess with pesto on it, and then like everything pesto pizza. You can tell we really like pesto in this house. And it was delicious, and we kept walking around. I got my birthday Kendra Scott for 50% off. We went to the Lego store. We went to World of Disney. You got your mug.
I did.
The mug looks really cool.
Right after someone broke a mug.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. Everybody in the store is like, whoa.
And like, ooh, it felt like we were back in elementary school all over again. The nice thing about Disney Springs is that it's a really chill place if you're wanting to spend like, go to Orlando, kind of get the Disney feel, but not actually go to the parks and pay ticket prices. Yeah. So we were able to get a Dole Whip, which was really good without having to go to the Polynesian, and we weren't going to Magic Kingdom this trip. It was just super, super good. So from there, this is where the craziness begins. So we took a bus back to the Riviera, which is a different resort. We went there for Topolino's last year for breakfast. It's a character meal, and the food is just bar none, the best meal. I've talked about it on my Instagram before, and it's just so good. Most expensive meal we've ever had, and it's still like...
Still one of the best meals
one of the best meals that we've ever had. So
what... When you pay more, you get better quality?
Oh, what a shock. So we went there because I just love the atmosphere. It's one of Disney's newer restaurants. And I was like, oh, this is great. We'll take the Skyliner back to Epcot and then walk from Epcot back to our resort. So we went to Bar Riva just to hang out at their pool bar. They have really good French fries there. Just get a drink, just kind of relax a little bit and just enjoy the atmosphere because I absolutely love this place. Well, then we're like, let's go take the Skyliner. Well, by golly. Thunderstorm, torrential downpour right as we're trying to leave. We are booking it and running in the pouring rain.
And we're like, I need to close out. Yes. So I'm like, here's my credit card. And then we get to the little hut where the Skyliner is. Yeah. And they're like, oh, we're closed because it's raining. And I look at my wallet. I'm like, oh, look at that. I left my credit card at the pool bar. So now we need to walk back.
In the pouring rain. Luckily, we always pack rain jackets with us. So we had them in my backpack. We're only people outside at this point, walking in the pouring rain. We go back to our girl Desiree over at Bar Riva and pick up our credit card. And then we're like, well, we're not taking a bus because if we took a bus back to Epcot, it takes you to a different port entrance to there, and they can't take you back. Like, we needed a specific entrance that the Skyliner could only take you to. So we ended up having to take a lift, which wasn't that big of a deal, but it is just pouring rain at this point. So we get back to our room and we were just like, done. We're defeated. My feet hurt so bad because I wore sandals and that was just not the move. Your feet are soaking wet. We were just like, bleh.
My feet were fine. It's just more of the chafing.
Oh yeah, you gotta prep for chafing. We'll leave it there. But the crazy thing is we wanted to do mini golf again because if you come back to Fantasia for mini golf, you actually are able to get 25% off your next round. That was what they had going on then. So maybe they don't have that, but maybe they do. And then we went to we got dressed up and we went to Trattoria El Forno. I got that. So our hotel is
Tostitos.
We called it Tostitos because I could never remember what it was called.
And it was Italian.
It is so good. It's on the boardwalk, so we walk there. Super beautiful evening. We had to wait an extra 45 minutes after our reservation time because they were so backed up because this place is so good. This was like our anniversary dinner. Oh, I'm telling you, Disney food, when you pay more, you get like really, really good food. So good. And then from there, we were just exhausted. So we went back and, cuddle in, watch Friends, and eat our snacks that we brought from home.
Yeah. What did you get at
Tostinos? I got the truffle pasta. It's usually made with gnocchi. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right.
Ganache.
Okay. But I asked, I'm not a biggest fan of it, but I asked them if I could actually use some of their homemade pasta. And they're like, well, our gnocchi's homemade. I'm like, well, I don't want that. I don't want a potato. I want carbs in the form of a noodle. So they made it in pepper deli noodles for me. And oh my gosh, it was so, so good. And what'd you have?
I got the
chicken parm.
Chicken parm, yes.
And it was good.
Pollo de parmigiano.
Oh, jeez.
Something like that.
Something like that.
And then the suggested wine that goes with it, and it was so good.
Oh, I know. Will you go back?
Yes.
Okay, I will hands down go back.
And it's like one of those things, like it's good if you have leftovers, but like it's just fabulous if you have it.
Yes,
there.
it is definitely the best to eat it when you're actually there.
And they also had pizza, which we didn't get because we already had pizza that day.
Yes, but I would definitely go back.
Mickey
Mouse pizzas and the kids' meal. Oh, so good. So we just went back. So then Saturday is when all the extra craziness started to happen. So I wake up feeling like this is the greatest thing ever. It's our anniversary. We're going to Epcot for the day for Food and Wine Festival. We're so excited. And I turn over and I'm like, John, how'd you sleep? And he goes, awful. My pump broke.
Yep. It died.
Oh gosh. And I was like,
at 2 a.m.
Here goes my glorious envisioned day.
Yep. And so I didn't get much sleep that night because my pump would constantly go off saying air, air, air. And so then it would beep at me. So then I would have to remove it, and then I would try to remove the battery, then it would beep at me some more and not die.
I didn't hear this at all throughout the night.
Yeah, Carrie is a heavy sleeper.
I know.
How did you counsel?
Oh, I have become a heavy sleeper. So I was a really light sleeper from counseling days at Lake Lundgren to having kids, and now that our kids sleep through the night, I'm out. Don't bother. Don't bother me. Okay, so your insulin pump breaks. Yep. It is now like 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And what do we decide to do?
Well, we're like, we should call Medtronic, see if they can,
your pump
get me a new one. Yeah. And called 2 different 800 numbers. They're not open because it's not normal business hours.
Right.
Come to find out yesterday when I was on the phone or on Monday that the 24/7 number is on the bottom of the pump.
Isn't that so smart?
Yeah, you'd think I would check there, but no. So I call my doctor up in Green Bay, and they're like, well, there's not much we can do. I don't have...
Of course not.
The nurse is like, I don't have much experience with pumps. If you can't contact Medtronic, then you have to go to the emergency room. So we go to the emergency room.
Yes. I will say, as frustrating as this whole situation was, one, we cashed this. So, paying for a lift was no big deal. Everything is so close in Orlando, so it was totally fine. The hospital that we went to, it's rated top 10 in the nation. Really super nice. Quotes of God's got you, or
the cliche
just things that you would see in a hospital, but they were there.
Pray to God for deliverance or for help.
Yes.
And those kind of things. But it's
I needed that.
I did need that. At 2 a.m, I was like, I am ruining Carrie's perfect day. I am the worst husband ever. Of course it had to happen this day.
I know.
And I'm like, this sucks. On the verge of tears. I'm just no.
Babe.
And so I'm like, of course. And I don't know how to break this to her.
Yes.
And I'm like, of course, we're going to end up in the day.
Canceling our Epcot day.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know if we're going to have to just eat the money that we spent on it, or if we could. Yeah. Luckily.
We ended up going.
We did go on. So luckily I was only there until 2.
Yes.
Because they put me on an IV.
They did all the things.
Yeah, they put everything on me. They were very extra, make sure everything is okay.
Yes.
And then they gave me insulin and said, we'll send some Lantus over to our pharmacy. Literally, I think out of the 6 hours we were there, I think I was waiting 5 hours.
Oh, I completely agree.
Because like waiting in the waiting room, waiting for it to like the prescription to get sent over, waiting for all of this different
the doctors
stuff.
and the nurses to come and check on you, because there's
Right.
And I will say this, we were like the easiest case that they probably had in that ER, because I saw people like messed up.
Yeah, it looked like someone was like severely burned when I was
Yes.
walking in. I'm like, ooh.
Like hunched over, like kind of like catatonic almost. I saw another person, and then our nurse told us that she almost got bitten by someone else.
Someone was trying to bite her.
Yeah. So I mean, we were happy to leave. It was a really good experience.
Yes.
Our nurses and our doctors were great. They like really cared for us, which was really helpful.
First time I've ever had a Mexican doctor, which is it's fun.
They actually gave us warm blankets too. Like they gave us blankets because it was freezing. Because it's a lot of AC that they throw in there, and we're dressed for like going to Epcot, and it's hot.
Right.
And so it was like nice warm blankets, and it was just so great. It was so great. The bill was not.
No, but on the other hand, it made us max out on our deductible.
Yep.
So now we can go, I can get a eye doctor appointment. We can go to the dentist.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll like spend very little now
I know.
on all of this.
This is the craziest thing. Like this
It's
is adults.
Yep.
We have to pay an out-of-state ER visit, which was a pretty penny. Luckily, like we have set ourselves up in such a way, as we talked about in our budget episode or like our money episode, that like, yes, this is an inconvenience, but I'm not like stressed about it. Like we were able to pay in full and like just wipe my hands and kind of be done with it and not have to worry about waking and sleeping and all the things. So we take a lift back finally after getting more insulin, and we like freshen up, relax. I charge my phone because I used all of my battery. I have a really old iPhone, so my battery dies very quickly. And
the bane of any Apple user.
And we didn't bring our battery pack, and that was on me. I didn't write it on the board. And so we go to Epcot. We finally get to Epcot, and we feel like the veil has been lifted and we can enjoy our time. However, I don't do well in heat, especially when I haven't eaten a lot, because at that point I had eaten a bagel and my leftovers from Tostinos, and that's it. And I was so hungry. We both got coffee. We started walking through some of our food and wine booths, and then I feel like I'm about to pass out. Like I need to sit down. I'm overheated. We take out our cooling towels, which are a necessity in the summer. And I'm like, I need air conditioning. I'm not going to make it. Well, and then the bummer for you, I ended up being fine. I walked it off, eat more food. It was fine. Went to Italy, got a slice of pizza, and it was delicious. Food and wine was kind of a bust for you.
Right, because like I don't have my pump, I don't have my CGM, so I can't constantly monitor my.
So what'd you have to do?
Blood sugar. I just had to keep giving myself insulin shots.
Yeah.
And I think that day I give myself like 5 or 6 because like I needed. Yeah, I don't know how people do it without
a pump. And you have had your pump since middle school, so we're talking 15 years ago.
And then like also having my CGM now for 2-3 years.
Yes.
And so like I forgot how horrible it was to do insulin shots. And yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun.
No, not at all. So you chose to not eat a lot. And I think we went in, so Food and Wine is a festival that they have with different throughout, it's about almost 6 months out of the year, July to November. And they have like booths from all different kinds of countries or more specifically typed foods. And you go around and you try them all, and it's like just super fun. Well, the food is not that great. We went with more higher expectations, and we were kind of let down.
There were some.
There were some that were like really, really good. Like I really liked Ireland's with their chocolate pudding cake, and it had like a Bailey's something on top. Oh my gosh, I would eat 4 of those.
Bailey's cream cheese sauce or something.
Oh, it was so good.
The mac and cheese was good.
The mac and cheese was good. The yuca fries from Fry Basket was good. The cheddar soup from Canada was good. But like
a little salty.
India was just like meh.
I liked it. I mean, I liked everything we had.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you get very small portions, which is fine because you want to go to many.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like So like we had a Belgian waffle.
Oh, that was so good. I already forgot that we had that. We got the China dumplings. Those were really, really good.
You're right. And so like, I feel like we had good food. It just like, it kind of had a damper on the day because we were like, well, now we have to pick and choose going in because we're only going to be there for half the time that we're expecting. Yes. And so we're like,
we had our list of 11 to 12 different things that we had already mapped out before we got there. And now we had to like, what do we actually want?
So yeah, we were planning on doing Ratatouille's cheese.
Oh yeah. His fromage montage.
Yes, that one.
You eat and then
you get the free quote unquote.
Yes. Little cup of cheesecake soft serve in a commemorative cup. But like, that's 5 booths of cheese stuff. 6?
6.
It's 6. You're right. 6 booths
stamps.
Of cheese stuff.
You could repeat if you
I could
wanted
repeat.
to.
So we could have gone back and gotten just lots of mac and cheese.
Which would have been great.
Which honestly would have been great. We live and we learn. We'll do it differently next time.
Well, like we also had like a severe thunderstorm
roll
in
my gosh.
at 2 o'clock, of course.
Always.
And like we were like, is it gonna rain? Is it not gonna rain? Should we like hide out?
Yes.
Or should we just keep walking?
And we just kept walking.
And we're like, our booth's gonna be open because we saw like the one right across. We were in
Italy when we were making this decision.
And so we saw the one right across the Italian like
the Italy booth that sells like gnocchi.
Yeah, it was like it closed down. Like they shut their doors, and we're like, are they going to even be open? Like, what's the point of walking around if everything's going to be closed? And so we're like, might as well. Like, I think it's all going south.
And it totally went south of us.
Yep.
We went to Impressions of France, which was a video. I thought it was Beauty and the Beast, and it ended up not, but it was fine. And we watched that. But the best thing that we did, we had very high expectations of all the things that we were going to do. So when I walk into Disney, I just kind of throw it all out the window at that point. The one thing that I wanted to do was meet Anna and Elsa, which is like, I know you're laughing at this point because throwback to Carrie in 2014. My mom had a show in San Diego. So my family did Disneyland and California Adventure when I'm a senior in high school. And I'm obsessed with Frozen as a senior in high school. I don't know. I'm 17. And Frozen had just come out. It came out at the end of 2013. So like when we were there for spring break in 2014, the line to meet Anna and Elsa was 4 hours long. And I remember being in California Adventure the day after we did Disneyland, begging my mom if we could buy a hopper ticket so that way I could go meet Anna and Elsa. And she goes, no, you're not spending half your day waiting in line, which I'm really thankful for. So then when we went to Magic Kingdom last year, nothing. No Anna, Elsa, anything. When we went to Disneyland, we got to see Anna and Elsa. Like, take a picture with them. I, like, freaked out. It was a really spur of the moment. We weren't anticipating seeing them at all. But that was when all COVID restrictions were still big and you couldn't like hug characters or like you had to be 6 feet away from them. So we have our cute little photo. But then this year when they're in the Norway pavilion, we actually got to meet them. And it was ended up being a 20-minute wait. And
still, that's a lot better than 4 hours.
Exactly. I think I cried.
We were the only like adults in the line without kids because everyone else had like their kids, like little kids.
Yes.
And like we wanted them to like video a message to our kids.
Yes.
Because we're going to go back this coming year. And so we're like, it would be really cool. Carrie saw someone who did like went to go see Anna Elsa and asked them to like give them a message from them.
Becca Hart, who's a YouTuber that I follow, she her and her husband Andy went on a couples trip pretty similar to what we did, to be honest, for Epcot one day. And she asked like, hey, can you actually make a video for my daughter Ellie Rose and just like say hi? We'll bring her back next time. So basically I stole that idea and we did it for Finn and Penny, and they like, Finn was really excited about it. Penny was like, I don't think she really understood the whole concept of it yet.
Well, she's 2.
Right. But Finn was like super excited. And then Penny, she loves Anna and Elsa. So just talking to her more about how you will get to hug them next time and like all that, and say hi to them and like meet them. They're like really excited for when we go back in March. So, and then from Epcot, when we watched Harmonious, which I love fireworks shows. John actually hates fireworks shows. So thank you for withstanding that with me. And we got to watch it. It was like a water show with fireworks. It was really, really awesome. I'm really thankful we did that because we will not be able to do that when we go back in March, just with the structure of how we're doing our day. So I was really excited to be able to do that. And then at that point, we were like, let's go to Jelly Rolls. Like, we can go do mini golf right now and go do Jelly Rolls. And then we got in the boat and we're like, we're not doing any of it. We're going back. And we were just done at that point. And so we went to cuddle in, ate our snacks, watch Friends, our normal stuff. And then Sunday was our checkout day, but our flight wasn't until like 4:00. So what did we do special for Sunday?
We stayed by the pool and, sorry. Yeah.
We didn't just stay by the pool.
We hung out at the pool in a cabana.
Yes, we rented a cabana.
And it was like one of the cheaper cabanas that you could get.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It fits like 4 people, but like...
Really only 2.
Really only 2. But
yes.
like you get like a fruit basket, you get your TV, you get...
Yes.
Yeah, and it was really
Unlimited,
nice.
like they came out with Fiji water and it was stocked with sodas.
Right.
It
and
was
then you get,
so
like,
nice.
You get someone from the pool bar to come like take orders from you.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was really nice.
We would definitely do it again.
Yes. If it was just
the 2 of us. If it was like all of us, then absolutely not. I would, like, processing it now post the trip, I probably would move it to the beginning of our trip solely because of how, one, I would want to spend like all day there as like easing myself into there. And then I could like leave and come back and know I still have my cabana. And then the other thing is they give you so much soda and fruit that like we can't bring soda back home on the plane, but I could have just left it up in my hotel fridge for the whole week, the whole weekend, and I would have been able to have some fresh fruit and all that kind of stuff. So,
and especially I'm like slightly allergic to chlorine. And
right.
So we were leaving that day and I'm like, I showered the day before. I really don't want to shower again. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, I'm just going to hang out in the cabana, which was like Carrie swam and I watched my soccer games because that's when soccer is being played is on weekends. And so
it was such a relaxing way to like kind of cap off the vacation. I would definitely start, if we had a longer trip, I'd probably just dedicate 1 pool day, or if we were doing no parks, I would probably just do 1 full day of the cabana. Cause I think we will go back to Orlando, even if we don't do the parks, which I say that now, we said that last time and here we are. And
it's so true.
We just get so excited when we want to go.
She's like, we booked the tickets and we're like, should we do Disney? Like, no, let's save money. Let's do other things that are in Orlando.
Yes.
And you're like, there's not much else to do in
Orlando.
There
is a lot more things to do in Orlando. We just didn't want to rent a car.
Oh, yeah.
And so there was just like the whole other aspect to it too. So, and we got back, we got to our hotel, got to the airport, no issues. We were delayed a little bit, like on the actual airplane, like 30 minutes ish, but it ended up not even impacting our time. And then we got to come home and snuggle our babies. Yep. It was so great. And so that was our full out Disney trip. If you have any Disney questions, just shoot me a message. I love talking all things Disney. I'll probably leave you the longest voice message in the entire universe because I love talking about it so much. Our next trip is we are going at the end of February with my whole extended family. We're renting an Airbnb. Giant house, again, you can get for very inexpensive in the Orlando area. And it's going to be 8 of us. And I'm doing the Disney Princess half marathon and then Animal Kingdom and then a full day of all of us at the park. So we want to thank you guys for listening to this fun episode. It was really helpful for me to just debrief our trip so I can reminisce on Disney days, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Couples Becoming Intentional. As always, if you have a question that you would like us to answer here on the podcast, you can go ahead and send us an email at jcvhouse@gmail.com, or you can send me a DM over on Instagram at Carrie Vaco. We'd love to be able to answer and feature you on here on the podcast. And as always, if there is somebody in your life who would benefit from this episode, feel free to go ahead and send them the link. And if you love this content, we'd love to be able to hear from you. So go ahead and leave us a review over on Apple Podcasts.
Until next time, we love you and we appreciate you.
See you guys.
Bye.